What was your best speech? I get asked this question all the time, and my answer has always been the same. My next one. My next one, because I am always looking at what can I do better? How can I deliver that story with more impact? What landed? What didn't? What needs to be tightened up? I'm always doing this. As soon as I step off the stage, driving away from the event, this is what's going through my mind. And this is how I'm constantly improving. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually thought about getting better at public speaking? Hey, this is Laurie-Ann, and you are listening to Be in Demand. This is the podcast for small business owners and corporate leaders who want to use speaking for their strategic marketing, influence, and grow their income. Here's what I hear all the time. I'm fine. My presentation skills? I'm fine. My speaking? My speeches? My signature speech? It's fine. I'm fine. And here's the thing that most people don't think about when they're fine because nobody has told them that they're not. Your boss said that you're fine. Your colleague said you did a great job. But you walked away thinking, okay, I did fine. But think about after your last presentation, your last speech, that last meeting, that last talk that you did anyone come up to you and say, wow, that was fantastic? That story, I felt like you were speaking just to me. Did anyone pull you aside and say, I need to connect with you? I need to learn more. When can we talk? How do I get a hold of you? And if the answer is no, I want you to continue listening to this because you should be concerned. Because fine is forgettable. Fine doesn't get you promoted. Fine doesn't make you the person that everyone remembers when that next opportunity comes up. Fine is not connecting with the people that are in the room. And fine is absolutely not being in demand. Here's the dangerous part. You don't know what you don't know. And you have never seen the micro mistakes that you are making because nobody points them out. And most people are making so many mistakes. I literally go to conferences where I am sitting in the audience and other colleagues who know me as a speaker and a keynoter and a speech coach will turn to me at the end of each speech and be like, what did you think? And like I always have my ideas. I've even seen seasoned speakers make mistakes also. So if you're operating at fine, you are making a lot of these mistakes. And we all do this until somebody points it out, till somebody shows us. And this is exactly what I do with my clients. I help them find and close that gap so that they stop sounding like everyone else in the room and they start becoming the person who is memorable, who connects, and who stands out in an ocean of fun speakers. If that's what you're looking for, I want to encourage you to book a call with me. We'll build a custom strategy just for you. That link is down below in the show notes. Now, let's talk about why this actually matters. Think about that last big meeting. Everyone's around the table who's prepared. Everyone is professional. Everyone is fine. So, who gets remembered? Or think about that last time you spoke at that conference on that stage. Again, everyone's being professional, but do you sound like everybody else? The problem is, who gets remembered? Nobody. And if nobody gets remembered, who gets the big opportunity? The one person who is memorable, the one person who made people feel something, who said something that actually stuck. And here's what I see all the time. People make decisions about your leadership before you ever finish that first sentence, before you even get to the main point, before your slides come up, your data, your recommendations. They are already forming an opinion about whether they trust you, whether they want to follow you, and whether you are someone worth listening to. This is how much and why speaking matters. This is what's at stake every time that you open your mouth. So let me talk about what actually goes into being a memorable speaker, because this is where most people have no idea why they're fine and not memorable. Now, there are macro skills like the big picture stuff, your structure, your story, opening, closing strong, knowing your audience before you ever walk in the room. And then there's the micro skills. And this is where the magic is. This is what separates fine from unforgettable. Things like pacing and pausing, because silence is one of the most powerful tools that you have. And most people are terrified of it. Vocal variety, because a flat, monotone delivery will lose your audience in the first 2 minutes, no matter how good your content is. I have a really hard time being very monotone. If I'm going to be monotone, like I'm doing it to show an example, and it's really hard for me. Like I have embodied playing with my voice. And this is what I work with my clients on, is really playing with your voice, using it. Let's talk about eye contact that actually connects. You're not scanning the room. You're not looking at your notes, but you are looking at somebody and really seeing them, making them feel so seen. There are so many professional speakers and professional keynoters that have not mastered really good eye contact. And there's an exercise that I give my clients to practice when they're at dinner with their family, when they're out on errands, when they're with their own clients. And let's talk about filler words that signals to everyone who's in the room that there's a hint of uncertainty. And it could actually even be a very big hint of uncertainty. You don't sound confident. You don't look confident. You're not making the audience feel your confidence. And none of this is your fault, because nobody has ever told you, because fine is fine. And here's what makes my approach so different, is that I'm not a cookie cutter coach. Say that 3 times fast. I don't hand everyone the same framework and send them on their merry way. I meet my clients where they are. We talk about their goals, their audiences, their specific situations. We build the benchmarks together so that we know exactly what we're working towards and how we're going to measure progress, because your speaking challenges are not the same as the person next to you, and your strategy shouldn't be either. Here's why I say my best speech is always my next one. After every single talk, I ask myself the same question. What did I like? What didn't I like? What landed? What didn't land? Where do I feel most connected to the audience? And I also take into consideration the audience. Who was in the audience? What worked for them? What didn't work for them? There have been times where I tried something new and it resonated with more of the men in the audience. And other times it resonated more with the women who were in the audience. So that's why I'm constantly taking the audience into consideration, and also what did I feel worked and didn't work. And I've been doing this for 25 years. And I still do this every single time, because no speech is the same. But guess who gets to get better? Because I do not want to be fine. I want to constantly be getting better. And that's why I'm sharing this episode with you, because staying fine is what's keeping you invisible, is what's keeping you from getting that next big opportunity. It's what keeping you sounding like all the other fine speakers. And the moment that you want to start growing is the moment that people will notice you. So if you're ready to stop being fine, if you're ready to become that speaker that people remember, that people want to hear from again and again, that gets noticed and gets the opportunity, then I want to connect with you. Book a call with me. We will talk about your skills and where you are right now, where you're holding yourself back, and what your voice is saying about you, even when you don't realize it. And together we're going to build a strategy that is completely customized to your goals. That link to book a call is down in the show notes. So I want to encourage you to go grab that. There are so many places that we are speaking. And if you are not getting better each and every time, even if it's just 1% better, then you are leaving so much on the table and you are just being fine. And I do not want you to be fine, because if you're listening to this podcast, you don't want to be fine either. So every time that you speak, you have a choice. You can sound like everybody else, or you can be the person in the room that nobody forgets. My best speech is always my next one, and your best speech is in the future also. And I want to encourage you to make your next speech your best one yet. Until next week, I want you to be in demand.